What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of this year's franchise. The last several years in the offseason of the MLB, we start a franchise. We start our franchise. We could call it a franchise rebuild because we take lesser teams that are down and out, and we try to rebuild them as best we can, make them an absolute dynasty. That's the main goal. Hopefully, several seasons of a dynasty. Last year, we took the Miami Marlins and made them relevant again. Really the cream of the crop in the major leagues. Way back when, years ago, we did the White Sox. So, like I said, usually teams at the bottom of the barrel. This year seemed like a no-brainer to me. Okay, if you watch the Dill Boot series, we had alluded to it a little bit, possibly taking a front office role with this team. That team, if you follow the major leagues, you know the worst team in the major leagues this year was the Colorado Rockies. They were absolutely terrible. They set records, not the loss records. They didn't have the most losses, but as far as run differential, it was historically bad. I mean, they blew it out of the water for worst run differential of all time. So we're going to take on that challenge. Okay, Rockies, if you follow baseball, if you follow the major leagues, they have not been good for a while. A lot of times, not just Rockies fans, but all baseball fans, all analysts kind of are puzzled at what their front office does because we don't know, right? Letting Arenado walk, letting Trevor Story walk, letting a batting champ walk. There is a lot that is just absolutely puzzling. I shouldn't say they let Arenado walk. They traded him away and got Austin Gomber in return, and he lasted about, a good 3 years before he absolutely, washed out of the league. So they make the wrong moves up and down the board. It's been going on for decades, which is tough to say. But now we look to turn that around. We look to hopefully start spending their money in a way that is productive because they are always in the middle of the pack as far as their budget goes. See, they're $149 million to work with. That's plenty of money to put together a very, very good team. So it's going to be exciting to be able to spend some money, move some things around. We're going to have some rules from the get-go before we get into some gameplay. And then, too, like we did last year, like we did the year before, we do a total rebrand. Okay, front office comes in, new owner of the team. They say, get this out of here. Get everything that is losing out of here. So we're going to rebrand the team, and we're going to do that right now. I've already gone ahead and pre-built some of this stuff so that way we can fly through it. But without further ado, the new team in Colorado is the Colorado Loggers. That's right. We switched their name. We kept the purple. Kept their purple. I did the same thing I did last year. I kept one of the two colors. We kept the purple instead of the black. Felt that was a little better. Added some flair to it, and then changed our name to the Loggers. Now, I don't know if there's a lot of logging going on in Colorado, but it's a cool logo. It's a cool name, and we're gonna hop in now and take a look. As far as the team as a whole, I'm not expecting a lot as far as their roster goes. You can see their rankings there in the lower thirds for a lot. They've got fairly good defense with a third-ranked defense, and speed is kind of middle in the pack. But everything else, we expect that it's going to be a total rebuild. We'll probably keep some parts, but most of it will change within these first couple years so that way we can get back to winning in Colorado. All right, we kept all the settings to the default, which means no forced trades, no outside free agents, things like that. And then all the GM moves, all the front office is set to manual. So we will take full control of the team. This, however, for this year is going to change. I thought about some more ways to get some more gameplay into this series. So we're gonna switch this. We're gonna play some of these situations. I think we're probably gonna do high importance ones and maybe like 7th inning or later, right? I don't know. Typically in my franchises, I do not put this on, but we're gonna do it for sake of switching things up, right? A big difference also with this year. Typically, I play a full franchise while I'm filming the Dill Boot series. This year, however, I just didn't have the time. Didn't have the time. I'm a busy man outside of Dill Boot. So it's going to be a brand new experience for us as far as how the trades go, how free agency goes. I have not experienced really any of it. I think I got through maybe the first week of my franchise. That was it. Saw the scouting, nothing else. So, unlike series before or years before, we had a very, very good idea of what to expect in the franchise. We have some semblance of it because we played it before, but we do not know all the tweaks that were made for this year's game. So it'll be kind of a learning experience as we go. This, again, is different. So this will also be a learning experience. Enter player highlight moments. Don't know what that means. Like I said, I never turn these on. I guess we'll try it out. We'll try it out. Sure. 7th. We can always switch it later, right? I think. There we go. Select these conditions and continue. All right. Well, I even earned a trophy for that because I've never done it before. So there we go. Got a trophy for just adjusting that. We are going to start this first season in the regular season. We're not gonna bore ourselves with spring training for a couple reasons, right? I am going to do the same thing that I like to do off camera with my franchises, and that's get through the first season as fast as possible. I want my guys on the field, which means I want a full draft. I want a full trade deadline. I want a full off season before I play a game. So we're going to fly through this first season. We'll check out the scouting. We'll check out the draft, and we're going to check out the trade deadline and see what moves we can make. And then we will hopefully have a rebuilt team already for year 2. So that way we can begin our winning ways. Another thing, we kind of want to tank this first year if we're simulating. We'll see. They don't look good, and I'm not expecting much, but we're going to begin in the regular season here. And there you can get a glimpse of the new uniforms. We also have new stadiums. Not only did I do new stadiums for the Loggers, I did stadiums for the entire NL West. Kind of what took me, a little bit to get into this, right? I wanted it to be unique to me since I didn't get the experience off camera before. So we're going all out. 5 new stadiums plus the 2 stadiums we built for Dill Boot. We've got 7 stadiums and some new unis. So let's check out the rosters. We also need to review our sponsorships and probably fire all of our scouts, right? They don't seem to be doing their job. We're going to have to fire them, find the best ones. So let's get into the roster construction, see what we're dealing with here. Okay, before we get into the Rockies depth chart here, which isn't looking good, guys, don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe for me. I always appreciate you guys watching. Help the channel out, help me out. Let's get into it. The Rockies are bad. The Rockies are bad. A lot of red on their depth chart. Let's move this here just to get a better look at our position players. Like I said, a lot of red. There are some bright spots that I'm going to want to take a little bit deeper look at throughout this season. Obviously, anybody with $sign next to the name is a trade candidate. The problem is how much can we get for a 67 Austin Gomber? How much can we get for 71 aging Jacob Stallings? My guess is German Marquez might be the only guy that might be a formidable guy to trade at the deadline, depending on the season he has, at least as far as the guys on contract years. Now, bright spots, I go directly over to Ezekiel Tovar, a young phenom at shortstop. We're hoping he's a potential, B potential, be just fine, but this could possibly be the face of the franchise moving forward if everything pans out for him. We do have Brenton Doyle in center field, right? He's an 84. He's the best position player we have on the team. One knock on Doyle, though, is his hitting just isn't quite there, right? He flies around the outfield. Unbelievable. He did hit plus 20 home runs last year. This year for the team, not so much. Didn't have quite the offensive season that he did a year ago, so we'll keep a very close eye on what he does there. And then our corner guys, right? Ryan McMahon made news by being traded to the Yankees this year. Obviously, he's still on the team right now. Depending on his year, depending on what we see in the draft and scouting and things of that nature, he could still be on the move. right? I think he's a great piece to have on the team, but being a 78 overall corner outfield or corner infielder, right? Can play first base, can even play a little bit of second base. He might be a valued commodity at the trade deadline, just as he was for the Yankees this year in real life. And then our other corner guy, Michael Toglia. I'm high on this guy. High on this guy, even though he had a terrible year this year, struggles at the plate. He's a switch hitter, an enormous switch hitter. Massive human being that has tons of power. Got to keep an eye on. Very young, right? Maybe 25, 26 years old. Keep an eye on him, and hopefully he takes that next step. And if we have, maybe two of these four guys kind of pan out, then we're in a good spot. Good spot, and then get some trade capital back with the other two guys. One other thing of note, Nolan Jones is still on the squad, right? This is before he was traded in real life to the Guardians. He's another right? At one time, he was one of the best prospects in the sport. He was a top 10 right fielder, according to MLB Network. So you never know what happens there. We're obviously going to keep him on the squad because this is what it's been given us. So Nolan Jones might be a little wild card there to blow up and be our right fielder. We'll keep an eye on that. But overall, like I said, it's a lot of red. It's going to take a lot of strings being pulled to get this train on the right track to the winning ways and into Dynasty Town. That's where we need to be. I did want to hop over here into the actual roster and kind of see everybody's potential overall as a team here. The four guys we talked about really at the top of the list, right? We told you they're kind of the four pillars of the Rockies right now. I would say just, being objective here, probably two of the four are going to go. Right now, I would probably say Tovar, being 23 years old, a B potential. I thought he might be an A potential, right? He shows flashes of A potential with the Rockies. Maybe he's on the cusp of getting there. Tovar, 23 years old, likely going to stick around for a while. The only knock on him is he only has one position. So if we find a superstar shortstop in this year's draft, Tovar likely is going to be shown the door in the next couple years. And then the other guys, Doyle, like I said, you just take a quick look. His hitting really isn't where it needs to be. Obviously, his defense, his arm, and his durability dominating his stats, getting him up to that 84. I don't know if we necessarily need Brenton Doyle in center field. My plan is probably to go more power, more hitting oriented first, right? We know that the draft has a slew of pitchers every year, at least in games previous to this, a ton of pitchers, just a ton of pitchers. We find ourselves drafting 3 or 4 pitchers every draft. So we know we're going to get a lot there. Our focus wants to be on getting the right position players though, right? If we hit on one of the 4 pitchers every draft, we'll be fine there, but we got to hit probably 1 or 2 or 3 position players the first couple of years. So that way we can begin to field a competitive team. And I'm not so sure Doyle fits into that. Maybe he does, right? If we go corners first, he might still fit. McMahon, we talked about. It just kind of is how his season goes. If he has a good season, it might be more beneficial to trade him at the deadline. And then Toglia, we see here the power through the roof for the 26-year-old, a switch hitter as well, which just is even more points for him to stick around with the club. But in real life, Toglia struggled immensely at the plate this year and parts of last year. So something to keep an eye on. Those 4 guys are going to be the guys that we watch throughout the season. And then we'll just kind of scroll through here, see who else we got. Thairo Estrada, older guy. Nolan Jones, we mentioned before, he has not been traded at this point in time. We still have him, a guy to watch. But I'm more interested in guys lower, like Chase Dollander, right? This guy going into this season, very likely their top prospect, but he's pitching in Coors Field, right? He's pitching in Coors Field. So basically anything we get out of him, my guess is in a year's time with the rotation that we just saw on that depth chart, he will be a starter next year. I'm almost guaranteeing it. Guaranteeing Chase Dollander is in the starting rotation next year. Gomber, right? Everybody knows Gomber because he's the guy they got in return for Nolan Arenado. Likely a trade candidate with that potential at B. But let's keep going down here. There's got to be more. There's got to be more here. Tyler Kinley, older. No, sir. Come on, man. And then unfortunately, too, we're kind of stuck with Chris Bryant, right? He's 33 years old, 62. They're giving him the rating in this game, a C potential. But the real problem here is this. We got 4 years, $26 million. He is absolutely weighing us down. Maybe, I mean, I don't know of a realistic trade, maybe a reliever. Maybe we get a reliever. They take on the 26 million. It's not very feasible. He might get cut. I don't know. I don't know what to do with Chris Bryant. That is a for sure red flag on this team, just sucking up a lot of our payroll. Here's a good one. Okay, there are a couple outfielders. I know that for certain. Jordan Beck being one. He played in the league this year. Not bad. A B overall with a 60 rating. Okay, his hitting is close. His hitting is close. We might be seeing him very soon. They are absolutely destroying the Rockies on these ratings. A 60 overall for Jordan Beck seems very low. But a couple other guys, Charlie Condon, their first pick from last year's draft, he's 21 with a B potential. So both of those guys vying for right field, the future right field. We'll see if they can do it. And then the other guy that I'm looking for, well, a couple other guys here. We might need to go to a different screen. All right, had to go to the catchers here, had to go to a different screen just to find him a little bit easier. Hunter Goodman, the breakout star for the Rockies this year, coming in at a 66 overall. C potential. I don't know if we'll see the same kind of output that we saw in real life from Goodman. It was kind of out of nowhere that he did what he did this year, breaking the Rockies' all-time single-season home run record for catchers. Probably the best offensive catching performance in Rockies history. But the other guy is another outfielder. I don't know where he's at here. There he is, Zach Veen. Okay, they have him in the majors, 23 years old. He's a C potential. So really, they've got three guys, three big or former big prospects sitting in right field. One of them's got to pan out, right? I don't know. We're going to see. It's going to be a very interesting upcoming season to see how these guys grow, see what happens in the draft. I think that's the main thing, because we're probably going to go with best available player. So if the best available player is a right fielder, obviously one of these guys might be on the move. Shortstop, if it's a superstar shortstop, the guy that we maybe want to make the face of the franchise could be on the move. I'm open to anything to make the Rockies better. Well, now the Loggers better, and it starts at a very, very low point for the team. We'll see if we can turn this thing around. All right, well, now we'll quickly go through these last two things before we start the simulating. One is just to earn a little bit extra money. I don't even know what I would have gotten here through the Dill Boot series, but we want to set our sponsorships. The in-game ticker, we'll just go to the bottom, see if we got any. Come on, man, come on. We've got one 30,000 per stolen base. I might be in the market to buy a couple of these. We'll put that one there for now. Let's see, active replay. We'll do per save, per win. Sure, Louisville Slugger, gold there, and then batter walk up. I like the stance. I like the stance one. 15,000 per home run. Like that logo a little bit better. There we go. There's our three. Get it done just to get a couple more dollars, right, that we could spend towards the team. There we go. And then the big thing that you cannot forget, the thing you can't forget is your scouting, okay? You can't forget to pick your scouting. If you do, you can hurt in many ways, okay? So last year, we kind of realized that discovery is way more important than we've been getting it credit for. So I'm going to hope that that's still the same case. I want a scout that is high in discovery, at least one scout high in discovery. And then I think for the other two, I'm going to make sure their efficiency is high. I want all three guys to be high in efficiency, but I want one guy to specialize probably in pitchers, and then the other guy in position players. So hopefully we can find that. It's gonna be tough, right? We just added some more money to our cause. We have $6,100 to play with. My guess is these three guys. Kyle Haskett doesn't look too bad, but he doesn't excel in anything other than efficiency. So we're gonna see. This guy's not bad. 94, 97. Okay, we might keep him around. And then we got 89 discovery. So they've kind of got something similar going on. Hopefully we can maximize our and have $0 remaining and get the best of the best here. I'm going to look through them. I'll let you know who I decide in just, it'll be like a split second for you. Okay, so here you have it. Took a lot of looking, but I think we found what we're looking for here. We have Charlie Penn, who will, all three guys are efficiency in the 90s, which is what I wanted first and foremost. And then we said we wanted a guy strictly for position players. Charlie Penn will be a position player guy first and foremost, but he can also help out with the pitchers. And the next we got Ruari Maeda, if I said that correctly, also efficiency above 90, and then he's going to be our discovery guy of 96. He is also very good in position players, but mostly he will be sticking just to discovery. And then our pitching guy, he excels very well in pitching. Houston Diaz, 94 efficiency, 97 in pitching. He's just for pitchers. So we got one guy for the whole position player group, one guy for discovery, one guy for pitchers. Hopefully that works out. Like I said, it could be different this year, but we definitely want to at least try the discovery this first season. If it doesn't work out, we can always fire him and get kind of a more well-rounded guy to do the scouting here. So that's what we're doing for this year. It leaves us with $1,700, which is more than I thought there would be, but $1,700 to play with for next year. Now that all that is out of the way, I think that's all I really want to take care of today. We're gonna sim through this. We're gonna get through this as quick as possible. We're gonna get to this first scouting day, take a look at the prospects, and then it's off to the races. Off to the races, probably until the All-Star break when we have our draft, and then we'll catch up again in later in the season. But it's going to be a very, very fast first season. I don't want to mess around really too much with anything. Maybe I'll move a couple guys up and down, and then at the trade deadline, like I said, make some moves, draft obviously. But let's get through this. Didn't really think it through, right? We're probably gonna have to bypass a lot of these. Simulate to end of games. Okay, today is the day to set scouting assignments. We might have to turn that off. Right now, the Rockies are 2-6, to be expected. Kind of a tough road, right? A gritty Tampa Bay team swept us, and then the Phillies swept us as well. Played basically our competition with the A's, and we've won our first two games of the season the last 2 days. But let's get in. Let's hop in and take a look at what we're going to do scouting-wise. It's going to be pretty straightforward for now until we figure out the ropes, figure out kind of where we need to put our guys, what exactly we need to exploit to get the most out of these drafts here. So now we come to this first week of scouting. The scouting officially kicks off, and I put a lot of emphasis in my scouting, even though I kind of generalize it and I have a pretty baseline approach. It's extremely important for me to have a good draft, not just because the loggers are no good, right? They don't have a lot of talent even behind the major league roster. There's not a lot of guys coming up, but not only are you going to get guys in here that make the major league roster very soon, but the lower guys, the guys in the 4th, 5th, and 6th round, if they don't make it, if they're not going to become, the next starting second baseman in the next 3 years or whatever have you, they become draft capital for the trade deadline to bring in other pieces to put on your major league roster. So it's even more important that later in the draft, we have guys that are A and B potential. So that way later on, we have a lot more ammunition going into these trades, and we can pair them with maybe a Marquez or somebody like that. Marquez is probably being traded this year, but I'm saying down the road, a guy like Marquez, you pair him with an A or B, prospect that's, probably not going to see the field for your team, and that trade becomes much better for that other team. I got a couple tricks that I've used in previous games that I hope to use today. Of course, we've already spent a lot of money on our scouts. We're going to take a look at them here. They all have distinct roles, which is kind of what I'm saying when I say it's a very kind of baseline approach to my scouting. But we have our discovery guy. We're going to see this first year if it continues to work. Being that the Rockies or loggers need an awful lot, I'm going to try and do and blanket as much as I can, as many positions as I can. Typically, I'll spend a couple weeks doing discovery, but for these purposes, for the Rockies getting better within the next couple years, if if my first week I don't return any results in the discovery, I'll probably move on to the next position, new position, new region, and try and get through them as fast as I can that way. And then again, if I find kind of a well somewhere, I'll stick there and hopefully find a bunch of prospects. And then we have our position guy. Right now, this guy is important, especially for this draft, because his task is to find that number 1 pick. We have the 4th pick overall, and I want to take a position player there because the position players go very, very quick. So if we can find a legitimate number 1 guy at that 4 spot, I'd be happy. And possibly the guy into the 2nd round too, because we'll probably get guys off the board and at least the first 2, maybe 3rd rounds. And then this is where the starting pitching guy comes in. Our pitching scout is going to kind of do another kind of blanket approach. He's going to scout the regions. Okay. The main idea there is to pull out the guys that are not currently on this list here, right? This is the list that we get. However, there are several players not currently on the list that start to get into this draft rank that we see here. So my luck with the drafts in previous years has always come from taking the guys that are clear front runners for, the number 1 overall pick, because they're going to be gone. The first round guys are going to be gone for sure. And then the guys that we find through scouting, that we find through discovery, we can kind of sit on them because not all the teams are looking at the same guys we are. So we can kind of hold off maybe a round or 2 and get bargain picks later on, maybe a B or A potential late in the draft, just by finding these guys through our scouts. And 2, I put a massive trust in the scouts we hired. I mean, we spent all the time finding the guys we want specifically for this reason. So the other thing that I do with this draft rank, as we begin to scout, we're going to see our draft rank kind of change and move around a little bit. So I trust that my scouts are doing the right thing. We got them in high efficiency for a reason. So if they tell me that the number 2 overall picked Robert Barney is actually, the 45th overall guy, we're probably going to stay clear of him. Right now, granted, there are some situations that they might be a little off, but most of the time, if we see a guy jump up the board or drop down the board, it gives us a very high indication on whether or not we want to scout them moving forward. So we're going to start with kind of a blanket coverage, get an idea of who's moving up and down this list, and then we're going to attack individual players. Like I said, that position scout is probably going to have a lot of players he's going to get to, but our pitching guy later on will then kind of weed out all the guys that we find and figure out the best that we can get at a bargain later in the draft. So as we go through these positions now, starting pitching, I will probably wait to kind of see how this shakes out. I don't think I want to do a starting pitcher number 1 or number 4 overall. Maybe if it jumps off the page, like Todd Dorman might. My guess is we can find 2 or 3, like I said, late in the draft. These pitchers are going to come late in the draft. But I probably won't waste my time really worrying about the starting pitching unless, as it gets closer to the draft, there's a clear-cut number 1. But, we do have the number 4 overall pick. So this Todd Dorman might get picked 1 of 1. We shall see. So we'll not worry about pitching, and then we'll just kind of see what matches our draft picks, right? We have number 1 at 4, round 2 at 69. Brent Judd, we'll see if he kind of moves up. I'm not sold on getting a catcher right away. He looks like he could be a hitting catcher, so we might spend the time there. We shall see. And then Richard Paquette, right? It's 17th overall. Is he going to jump into a higher thing? This might be a situation where we just scout the first base international position to kind of draw out that true draft rank. And as we keep going, we've got, basically a first rounder in every position so far. Jeffrey Bernard, another guy that we can send a scout out to the region to check out Bernard here. And then, you just kind of got to look. So we know that we want probably a little bit more power, right? We want to hit some home runs in Coors Field, let the pitching kind of come along a little bit more slowly. Bernard might be a guy that we pass on. Okay, so let's keep going. We got French here. Let's see, Gingrich, Ramsey Sanchez. Okay, so we got 2 guys here in the top 15. Again, shortstops. tend to lean towards that superstar kind of unicorn type player with the 99 potential. So we probably want to spend some time in shortstop. I mentioned it earlier. If we find a shortstop that's 99 overall, Tovar, being that he only has one position, might be on the move. I definitely want to kind of spend some time probably with both of these guys. Let's just see here. Gingerich looks like he's a contact type, fielding type guy. Ranked 5th overall. We'll see how that shakes out. And let's take a look at Sanchez here. Okay, so he's definitely more consistent, a lot more green. He only has one yellow number in stealing. Sanchez might be a steal here. Sanchez might be a steal. Being that he is 15, we might have to take the leap at 4 to get him if he is indeed the guy. But shortstop is always a position that I take a look at and make sure that I'm not missing any potential guys there. And then always there's guys way down here that seem to jump up into the draft rank for us. So we'll probably scout some regions here as well. And then I think probably where we need the most help, at least, as far as looking at the depth chart, is the corner outfielder. And it's almost as though it was just presented as a present to us, right? The number 4 prospect is Jeff Lopes, and we are slotted at the number 4 slot. So let's take a look at Jeff Lopes, see what he's dealing with. A lot like Sanchez in the fact that not much yellow. He does have one extra blemish, right? Yeah, reaction blemish at 66 overall. Of course, I'm looking at the future here. Obviously, we'll get a better idea once we begin to scout him. But Lopes looks pretty solid at that 4 spot. The only thing I worry about being at the 4 is if a team ahead of us needs an outfielder, they'll probably jump down and get Lopes. So we need a backup plan for Lopes. Of course, this is all hypothetical before we jump in and we start scouting these guys. This is just an idea of probably what I'm going to get done in this first 7 weeks of scouting. But then you got Sean Crow as well as Marshall Campanella. So like I said, it's like the game's doing you a favor here, right? They know that you're weak in the corner outfielders. We've got 3 guys here that we can kind of take a look at. Center fielder shows us the number 3 overall prospect, Cesar Castro. We'll take a look at him. And then in right field, we got the number 2 overall prospect. He would probably have to drop to us, 2 slots. He's looking pretty solid, right? It's 79 to 98 overall or potential with an overall of 68 to 87. Another guy will probably send an individual scout out just to scout him. Other than that, it's going to be a lot of weeding guys out, right? These first several weeks, seeing where the draft rank takes us. And then from there, we're going to go ahead and individually scout some of these guys. So for this first week, I'm going to send out my scouts, and none of them are going to be individual. Now, granted, that might change very quickly, right? We just are going to kind of play it per week. But for our position players guy, we might as well just go into where our guy is and try and draw more prospects, right? We'll scout Lopes while scouting the rest of the region. Of course, he was a left fielder, playing in the central region, right? If memory serves me, let me double check. Yeah, so Lopes was a central left fielder, so that's taken care of. Priority number 2 is going to be our pitching guy. That's Houston Diaz, the only guy that's left over from the previous scouts. He is going to go scout position, and he's just going to start. We're probably going to do 2 weeks at a time with these starting pitchers. As far as the position players, again, we need a lot with the Rockies. So just kind of a kickstart in the right direction might give us a better idea. But for the pitchers, being that there'll be a lot less individual scouting here, we'll probably spend 2 weeks with each region. I'm not going to worry about relievers. As far as closers go, hopefully we find somebody in Discovery or maybe somebody, jumps off the page. But again, there's so much that needs to be done. We're just going to try and do as much as we can this first year. And then finally, the guy that we're resting a lot on here, our Discovery guy, he's going to be doing Discovery probably almost the entire time. He might hop off just a little bit to help with position players, but he's going to discover new prospects, and we'll do the same thing. We'll start him pitching west. And like I said, if after week 1 that doesn't return anything, we'll move on to the next position. And again, as we scout these regions and kind of see if we find a guy, like if Lopes is the guy that we definitely want in left field, we probably won't try and discover any more left fielders if we know we can get them. So that's where we're starting. That's where we'll go for the next several weeks. We're going to see how that draft rank changes, see who we find by scouting these regions, and then also the discovery. Hopefully we can return some results that net us. I'm hoping for 10, 15 players to choose from for this draft, so that way we're sure to at least get all the guys that we want, at least some of the guys we want. And mainly the big ones are going to be that first probably 1, 2, and 3rd round picks. Those are the guys that we're going to see maybe immediate as next year for these loggers. So let's get to it. Let's also set our positional needs. I'm going to keep starting pitcher as a positional need just because I'm anticipating picking 2 to 3 starting pitchers, and then we'll go left fielder, and then we'll say shortstop. I feel like those were the places that we kind of found a niche a little bit, right? The pitcher, we're just gonna go volume there, so make sure we get pitching. Our shortstop, there's 2 to 3 guys there that I liked. Left field looked stacked. So we're going to have those 3 be our positional needs, which will help with influencing these guys to sign with the Rockies. So let's get out of here, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. I'll probably revisit this in about 7 weeks, about at the halfway mark. So there we go for that, and let's get it done. So now I'm just going to begin simulating. Like I said, we're not going to do any gameplay. I'll keep an eye on kind of how the roster is doing as far as injuries and things like that. I don't want to bore you with the whole simulation for a full series. So we'll likely catch up here. Let's see, 7 weeks would be like end of May. End of May, we're going to see kind of where that list has shifted. But we're just going to get started here, and we're going to kind of grind through this first season, dealing with injuries, dealing with our prospects, and of course we're going to keep an eye on kind of our four-headed monster that we've talked about already, and see what they do, see if they maybe become a trade commodity, or maybe have a future with the team. So I'm going to begin now, and we'll see it probably week 7, week 8 mark of that scouting in just a second here. All right, so we are at the last week of May, and I got to say the Rockies are doing better than I thought. 22-30. We'll see how long that holds. Unfortunately for the players on the field, no matter where their record is, I'm probably gonna be sellers at the deadline, right? I can't foresee myself not playing any games in the regular season, making the playoffs, and then all of a sudden being like, oh yeah, I'll hop on the bandwagon and play these games. So we're going to see how it shakes out. My guess is a losing streak is going to happen eventually. We just don't have the talent, but so far so good. I wanted to stop here mostly because this is about the halfway mark of the scouting. We're going to take a look at that draft rank, see what's changed, see what's going on there. I've noticed a lot of things, a lot of good news, some bad, but a lot of good news in the scouting. So as we look here, we can see that the draft rank for our team has changed dramatically. The guy that was slotted at the 4 slot, Jeff Lopes, is our number 1 overall prospect, which is very good. Very good, because that's our slot. However, what other teams are putting him number 1? What other teams are putting Jeff Lopes number 1? He looks to be like a surefire superstar. My guess is he's not going to be there for us. I'm hoping he is. If he is, this is likely the guy we're going to get. But we need a backup plan. So we're going to take a look at kind of what we looked at the first time, see if there's any kind of position battles working out. That's kind of what we're going to focus on the second half of scouting, right? The individual scouting to kind of get a real sense of where our draft rank lays for these positional players. As for our pitching, that's where the phenomenal news comes in. I found a little like pocket of pitchers in the central region, and I was getting 4 prospects each week for 4 straight weeks. So we got 6 brand new prospects. Not only that, these guys are stout. They are very good. We could see here that that pitcher that was number 1 overall, he has dropped off the board. Thurston is sitting there from 22 up, or 29 up to 2. We're probably not going to worry about anybody that's on the MLB board, because if we look down here, We've got a guy, Lou Diggs, ranked number 11 that we discovered. We've got another guy in our 16th that we discovered. We've got another guy, 24th that we discovered, 25th. I mean, they're littered throughout. There's 4 guys in that we're projecting in the first round that potentially no other team has taken a look at. Obviously, we're not going to assume that. We're going to assume that somebody else is out there, but we can get these guys probably later in the draft. If a guy is as high as, let's say, our highest guy, Lou Diggs, if he continues to jump up the board as we individually scout him, we might want to jump a little bit quicker on him. But it's looking very good for not even worrying about who is on the board, because we have found at least 4 guys, and there's more. Like I said, we found 8. Not everybody made the list, but we've got a guy at 36, Johnny Mitchell, and this is just starters that we're looking at. Let's see if there's anybody else. Another guy at 57. He a little bit too much yellow for my eyes there, but not bad, right? Just a slew of pitchers at our disposal that we discovered that is absolutely huge moving forward. Like I said, we're going to individually scout these guys, make sure that they are legitimate in their ranking. But very good news from it was paid off. It paid off with the discovery. And then as for the position players, a lot has changed, right? We haven't done a lot of scouting in every position, every region, but some scouting has taken place. We could see that Judd probably out of the running for our pick. At first base, I still think I want to take a look at Paquette. He kind of jumped off the page as far as his hitting goes, but right now he's sitting at 22. Maybe we can sneak him in the second round, have that be our second round guy if he's dropping. It's going to be tough, right? He's 17, moved down to 22. And then second base, again, not a lot of positive movement there. But where we begin to see the movement is kind of where we thought we were going to see it in the first place, right? Shortstop. We see Gingrich moving into our slot at the 4 hole there. Gingrich still kind of scares me. Is not a lot of power. We know what Tovar brings to the table. It's very similar with probably more power. He might have a touch more contact, but is it worth it? Maybe putting him at second base could be a very realistic possibility there. And then the other guy that we thought might make a run for it, who we thought looked a little bit better on paper, has moved up. Okay, he's at 35% scouting. We're going to scout both these guys fully just to see, but it's very likely that if Lopes goes 1, 2, or 3, we're sitting here at shortstop wondering, do we pick a shortstop and potentially have a tremendous trade piece in Tovar, or move one of these guys to a different position? Second base, third base, we've obviously got McMahon, but a lot to do there. He's kind of staying steady in that green. There's nothing to really dislike about Sanchez there. I'm liking him more and more as we continue to individually scout these guys. We'll be able to figure out for certain what's going to happen. And then left field, again, just another little pocket. We thought we might have it throughout, but these 2 guys, Campanella moves all the way up to 9. And then we got Lopes. So Campanella, another guy that could potentially be up in that 4 hole range for us to pick, but it's looking like kind of what we were looking at in the beginning is promising. So center fielder, I did not do any sort of regional scouting there. I'll get in, take a look at Cesar Castro. It's highly unlikely that a position player will stick around for us at 4, especially if they're ranked higher. That's why I'm kind of assuming Lopes is gone. And then right field, we're seeing some regression there as well. So some good news in some positions that we kind of highlighted earlier. And then starting pitching looks like it might dominate the draft, which isn't a bad thing, right? If we're going after best available and there's 5 starting pitchers that we need to take, well, then we got 5 starting pitchers that we can either trade away or watch grow and become the new Loggers starting rotation. So we're going to finish this out with some individual scouting. Like I said, a couple regional scouts here and there. My discovery guy will continue to discover, but I will see you next time closer to the draft, maybe a week away, where we're going to come up with our game plan on who exactly we're going to pick. And hopefully we have those 15 guys and all of them we're going to be thinking are A or B level talent. I'm excited. All right, here we go now with this year's draft. It's a big one, right? Because we got to start turning things around. It starts right now in the draft. We did have a little bit of fireworks late in the scouting. We had two position players and a starting pitcher. We were individually scouting, one being Marshall Campanella, this left fielder, and he jumps all the way to 5 from 14. Don't know why we didn't scout this guy sooner, but look at all that green. Look at all that blue. This dude looks like an absolute stud. I can't believe, like I said, we didn't scout him sooner. It's a little risky. He's an 80% scouted. We didn't fully get him done. But that's some good news there. And then we also had a second baseman in the mix. He jumps all the way up to 90. So maybe a late round position player flyer that we can take on him. So kind of some good news there. We'll see what happens when the draft happens. I have this sorted just position players first, and then in just kind of rated how I'd like to see them drafted. I have Campanella slightly ahead of Gingrich right now in case Lopes is off the board. And then our starting pitching, I have that based on how I would like to get them drafted. So we'll see what happens. We've got everything sorted, everything ready to go. And now it's time to get it done. Here we go. Let's have a little bit of luck on our side. Let's get that number 1 overall player in Lopes. That's a splash. That's a splash. Let's see if we can do it. Here we go, starting the draft. First up, I believe, is Washington. Who are they going with? What's going to happen? Todd Dorman. Okay, the number 1 overall pick according to the MLB. We had him slightly lower, 28. 28. Who is next? Come on, man. I mean, three doesn't seem like a lot. It's a lot to wait for. Jeff Lopes. Are you kidding me? So the Angels get Jeff Lopes. They don't deserve him, but they got him. You know, I don't want a number 0 on my team anyways. Now, sir. Dang, man. All right, who's third? Who's it going to be? Come on, man. Wally Gingrich. Okay, so makes our decision a little bit easier, I guess. I didn't notice he opted out of his doctor's exam. Not so good there, Wally. All right, so we're up. We've got a couple decisions here. Ramsey's, we know, has fallen way back of the pack. A lot of yellow, a lot of blue, dropped all the way to 34. Is he going to be in the second round, even though the MLB has him ranked at 15? I don't think so. I'm still high on him. I don't know. He was like my pick, right? I was like, yeah, that's the guy. Marshall Campanella, only 80% scouted, but man, I don't think I can pass that up. It's tough, man. You know, become attached to a player, and this is what happens. But instead, we're going Marshall Campanella. We got to, right? I mean, we got to. Corner outfielder. He's 6'4", 236. I mean, he is stacked with, according to our scouts, a lot of speed. Maybe he's better than Lopes. That's saying a lot. I don't think so. We're going to draft anyways. Marshall Campanella. Welcome to the Colorado Loggers. A late entry. Popping in there. There we go. Can play all 3 positions. All right, we're just going to simulate through. There he is. He's gone. Where did he go? We've got some time. We've got some time because we got this sorted. 11. He was slated at what? 15. Went 11. All right. So now what do we do? Well, I had talked about Chris Medina. He's kind of like a safe pick. A safe pick at 2. We know we're getting probably a fairly decent position player. We need position players. He can play first, second, and right. Kind of high on this guy. Got some power. I think that's a no-brainer. Moreno is just too far down for us to stretch there. And then I said we needed Diggs. Once we get out of this round 2, we need to pick Diggs. I'm gonna roll the dice. I'm gonna go Medina because according to where he's rated, he's not gonna be there for our next pick. So here we go, drafting Chris Medina, the safe pick. Probably the most boring pick of the draft. Hopefully he's at the higher end of that overall there. We shall see. All right, moving along. Next Loggers pick. Is he there? Yes, Lou Diggs. Lou Diggs, I think we have to go here. Absolutely, our top pick. This guy is ranked 4th according to our scouts. I do not want to see him go, go away. So we got to get that there. We still have Moreno, who is projected at 90 according to us, 119. So we can still get another position player. Pena, he looks a little sketchy. Not gonna lie. So we scouted him, not so high on him. We're going Diggs. We're going Diggs here. I think that's a big pick. I think that's a massive pick right there. Opted out of his doctor exam. Just now noticed that. Well, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Hopefully he's not hurt. Here we go. Moving along. All right, so Moreno is there. Okay, or we have Acevedo available. Acevedo, of course, ranked 11th. I think that mixed. Okay, I have Acevedo a little bit higher. I don't remember why I liked him a little bit more. Maybe the arm strength. It's the arm strength. So Acevedo. Again, these pitchers are all discovered either through the discovery or the scouting. So we can kind of afford to wait because they are not even ranked in the MLB. Let's go Marrero. Let's get one more position player. I can't see myself picking Pena. I want a third position player because the rest is all pitching, and we're happy with that pitching. Here we go. Joakim Marrero on the roster, getting it done. All right, moving along here. Now we got to hope Acevedo is available. Now we just go down the road, right? Pena probably could remove him. Okay, we're going. Wait, is he 10? Yeah. Okay, so we're going Acevedo. Boom. Got him. Liking it. Bauer was next at 10. 10th overall, according to his scouts. We're getting him at 138. Like I said, you got to. I put trust in my scouts. He opted out too. That's right. I put trust in my scouts that their list is correct. And then we got Rivera, who's 46 or 51. He's got some stamina there. Not so much stamina. Walks. Okay, control. I mean, I think it's probably a toss-up at this point. Let's go Louis. Let's go Louis to finish it off. What did we get? 4 starting pitchers, all in the top, 50? That's pretty good. Pretty good there. And we are done. The first-year player draft has come to an end. You will have until August 1st to sign your draft picks. I mean, that's big time. That is big time. We're going to see how it all shakes out. Of course, we've got the All-Star, the break coming up, and then right after, we got to focus on the trade deadline as we're signing our draft picks. I'll keep you in the loop on as probably not the signings. It's very easy to sign these guys, especially since we discovered them. So it won't be too hard signing them. I'll let you know when it's done. But we will have probably 1 or 2 trades. We'll have to take a look at the roster and see, probably look at some stats, see who's hot, who's not, and who we can trade away. But trade deadline is here. I don't know if we're going to make a lot of moves, but I do want to make a couple moves. And we're going to see in just a sec what the Rockies are going to do. Okay, it's trade time now. We're hopping in a little early. I thought about maybe getting some of these guys out of their cold streaks or into a hot streak possibly to raise their trade stock. But we're trying to get through the season. I wanted to do it as quick as possible. And, I knew what I kind of wanted to do going in. I wanted to get rid of most of the guys on their contract year. I think we had a total of 8 guys that are currently in the majors on contract years. And, good news for our top 4 here. None are going to be traded at this time. It just doesn't make sense. At the present time. We might in the offseason revisit maybe trading one of these guys, but all are under contract and all are legitimate starters right now. So when I started to this trade kind of journey, these trade talks, I realized that I can't go after that many prospects. I need guys in the majors immediately in order to get the prospects that we just drafted some time to kind of develop. So this first one that I went out and did, it was kind of my first pass. I knew that I wanted a legitimate prospect. I was surprised at what I was able to do. This was probably the most willing team to trade with me we have 3 trades that we're going to do. But this team was the most willing, and surprisingly, they're at the top of the heap. It is the Dodgers. Okay. So when I went through there, I kind of just went through their roster, who was their top prospect, settled on Dalton Rushing. And we're, according to what I just laid out. We're able to get him. We knew that we wanted to trade German Marquez. This is kind of the big piece for now. Right, we're going to unload $10 million, which is very good. German Marquez is in it. And then Austin Gomber, the guy that I thought pitched his way out of the league, he's still in here. But he's $6.3 million that he's costing us, and he's a 67. Isn't going to sniff the starting rotation once we get done with everything we do here. So Gomber is in there as well. We could complete the trade at that time. However, I did go over and see in their relievers, they are willing to trade Alex Vesia as well. So Vesia will stabilize our relievers. We have 2 guys on contract years. I couldn't find a home for them as far as relievers. So Vesia would be the guy we're going to try and probably sign, one of the other 2 relievers that we have a contract here. But Vesia, and then I threw in one of our prospects. He's hot right now, so it kind of helped our cause. We just drafted a second baseman, so it doesn't hurt as much. Of course, we don't know how good the guy is that we just drafted at second base. My guess is he's better than a 59D. So that is the first trade, and it works out. And we're getting our catcher of the future in rushing. Granted, he's going to have to battle with some other guys for the catching position, but being that he's an A potential, I have no doubt that hopefully come the offseason and into the next season, he's the starter. We're probably going to leave him in AAA for now, and then we're shoring up, or not really shoring up, the loggers are absolutely terrible. We're securing the reliever spot for the next couple years. We'll probably need more relievers through free agency, but Vesia gets us a good start, and he's fairly decent with that B potential. So we're going to do this one here, and we'll accept it. That's number 1. Okay, so these next 2 were a little bit more difficult. I'm really stretching trying to get rid of these guys and bring in new faces. One thing that I wanted to do, right, we just drafted what I assume is going to be a stacked starting pitching squad. I don't want them jumping into the majors right away. So I thought, prospect lines, where do we go? This one, again, cost me a pretty penny, but as I looked into it, it made a little bit more sense to me. It's with another contender, surprisingly, and we went with the Braves, and for their prospect, we wanted somebody to go with Chase Dollinger, right? We know Dollinger's going to be in the league next year. He's young. He's going to be a phenom. We wanted one other phenom from their starting position ranks, and we settled on Hurston Waldrip. He's 23, a B overall. This one's a little sketchy, right? I didn't know for certain exactly if I wanted to do this up until probably about 5 minutes ago. I decided to do it because why not? And some of the guys that we want to get rid of that are on contract years, one is an aging Jacob Stallings. It works out because we just brought in a catcher. The Rockies right now are carrying 3 catchers on their major league roster anyways. I talked about the young guys, Hunter Goodman and Drew Romo. You see Rushing fitting in right there. We'll probably leave Rushing down, like I said, and have Romo, just waste away in the majors for the second half. But Stallings is included in this. And then the other guy I had to trade away, we just drafted a left fielder, and I'm more willing to play a left fielder immediately out of college or out of high school, a position player, I should say. So we're hoping that this guy that we just drafted in Castaneda is legitimate. Otherwise, we have a couple young right fielders that we can move to left. If you know the Rockies and you've been watching so far, you know who we're talking about. It's Nolan Jones. He's a B potential, which is tough for me to do. Very tough for me to do. He's hot right now, so might be at the peak of his powers. I went in there, I took a look, and if we just glance at his stats, okay, I always go off this one category here, his OPS 685, just not cutting it. He's turning into a contact type guy. We want a power team first and foremost. The guy we just drafted looked like to absolutely blow up the rankings in the hitting department. So we're kind of hopefully swapping one guy for the other, even if the guy that we just drafted number 4 overall at Castaneda is in the high 60s. I'm okay with it. So we're going to include Nolan Jones. This one's just a 2-for-1 deal, which also hurts a little bit. But the Rockies, I should say, the Loggers are hurting a lot. So pairing Waldrip with Dollinger, I think will go a long way. Granted, Right now, our starting rotation looks pretty thin still. We'll probably have to address it in the offseason as well, but this gives us a young arm that is ready for the league right now that I'm going to thrust into the majors as early as now, as late as the start of next year. So we'll get this one done here. We'll accept that. And then finally, this last one, I think I'm saying Castaneda. It's Campanella. Campanella is the guy that we drafted. Already getting his name wrong. Not off to a good start. Campanella is the left fielder that we're hoping is going to take the spot for Nolan Jones. Nolan Jones was our DH, right? He was splitting time with a couple guys, DHing with Kyle Farmer. And after we just traded away two of our starters, granted one being our ace, if you want to call him that, I know I wanted to kind of replace him with hopefully somebody younger in Marquez. And I think we did that. The guy that we got to go along with this pitcher, though, is huge. It might be a bit overkill, but it's with the Detroit Tigers. So we went to their starting pitching. We took a look at Matt Manning. Granted, both of these guys are going into arbitration. We just unloaded, $16 million to the Dodgers. So we're assuming that we can sign these guys for one, possibly multiple years. Manning might be a one-year deal. This other guy, though, might be a little bit more. So it's Manning, and then we had mentioned Kyle Farmer. He is a guy that is on his contract year as well at 34 years old, $3.3 million. We're going to toss him in there. And then because we're pretty much out of our contract, guys, anybody that had any sort of chance of drawing a trade, we had to go back to our prospects, and we went the same route that we did with the Dodgers. We drafted a third baseman, so we went down to Sterling Thompson, 23 years old, a C potential, a little bit higher, right? We're getting rid of some of our prospects, but we're hoping that our draft was legitimate enough to replace these guys. So Sterling Thompson is in there, and then we had to go to center field. This one, again, a little bit tougher. My justification here was we have Benny Montgomery, 22, Cole Carrig, 22. Both of them, could easily, be a starter in the coming years, but we're going to get rid of one of them. Cole Carrig gives us enough room to get this other guy. And as I mentioned, it's a bit overkill, right? We like the guy at this position already, but being that we traded away the DH and the DH is prominent now in the major leagues, these guys are going to split time at first base. Spencer Torkelson, we might be taking advantage of his little cold streak here, a 77 overall B potential. This dude could be a middle of the lineup type guy for the Rockies for the foreseeable future. I couldn't believe they were willing to do it. They are willing to do it. So you have Matt Manning now at the top of the heap of our rotation and Spencer Torkelson in the middle of our lineup to go with Taglia and Tovar. And then McMahon kind of rounds it out too. Those guys still might be traded. Torkelson, if we can sign him to an extended deal, will likely stay with the team for a longer time. Granted, he can play other positions. His defense just is not very good. Not very good, like Taglia plays the outfield, but is in the 60s as far as his fielding goes. We wanted power. We just upgraded our power. I am justifying the Nolan Jones B potential with the Spencer Torkelson acquisition. Hopefully we can get these guys signed to a decent deal in arbitration. But those three deals are the deals that hopefully are the second step and getting the Loggers back on track. So there we go. A lot more than I thought I was going to do. I thought it was going to be easy peasy. It wasn't. Took me a while. And I think we did good. I think we did pretty good. Now we have to mess with the lineup and simulate the rest of the season here. I will check in with you. We're going to take a look at our draft picks now. See if it worked out, right? Maybe we could have waited a little bit until we signed some of these guys. I don't think I'm going to have a problem signing any of them. But if one or two doesn't work out, then some of these trades look a little rough. Now we sit at the beginning of August. The trade deadline has come and passed. There were a couple other trades that were offered to us, nothing that really piqued our interest. So really overall, throughout the trade deadline, it looks like on paper we moved kind of laterally with our team. However, all the guys that we traded likely wouldn't have been re-signed for next year, save maybe Marquez. So we got younger. We got better in the potential department. And then I think that we did get an upgrade with Torkelson as far as our overall lineup goes. So since then, we've been kind of the same team, right? Not much different. We need our young guys to grow throughout the year. And then next year, the loggers are going to be stacked. So now we take a look and see if we've built a good foundation through the draft. We're going to take a look at our draft picks for the first time. Right, we're going to see what happened. Of course, the guy that we wanted at 4, Lopes, was picked before us, and then the other shortstop that we were high on in Sanchez kind of fell by the wayside. So we hope that Campanella is the guy that we need him to be at the 4 spot, and then those pitchers late. We're going to see if those panned out. I'm pretty excited. I think we did very well, especially with where those pitches were rated on our draft list. So here we go. All right, there he is, Marshall Campanella. Maybe the new face of the franchise. We shall see. Right now, let's see. Oh, my goodness, that is a lot of blue. That is a lot of blue. I don't think I've ever... Now, they changed kind of the ratings for this game, right? 86, okay, is now a blue. That used to be 90 and above. Okay, so it's, I'm a little ahead of myself here. It's a pretty good draft. Campanella is a 74. He's a 74, so that Nolan Jones trade looks very good now because he is better than Nolan Jones straight out the gates. 88 potential. That dude is going to be starting at 19 years old next year. Chris Medina, kind of the safe pick there. He's kind of fell flat. 60 overall. I mean, it would be interesting to see if he was the best position player available there. That's what we wanted to do. Very well may be the case. He's got the same potential as Campanella, so maybe 2-3 years down the road. And then we went pitcher next. We went Lou Diggs, and he's our first A on the board. A 69 overall. Are you kidding me? Lou Diggs. Wow. See, and there's the discovery paying off right there. He's a little bit older, but that's okay because he's already a 69. We just traded for a 71 B potential. So, again, the trade looks pretty decent, right, for the pitchers. We wanted some time for these guys to grow. Lou Diggs might not have that time. He's 21 years old. We might see him middle of the year next year. We shall see what he does early in the season next year. And then we went our final position player, Joakim Marrero, a second baseman. Again, all our position players, 88 potential, which is pretty decent. I really wanted that A potential type guy. But, that's all right. This guy's probably has a long shot to make the pros. He's already 22. He's only a 57. But given that he has 88 potential, maybe something happens there. But overall, 3 position players that will boost each one of those positions and are better than the guys we traded away. So the third baseman prospect, the second base prospect, and then Nolan Jones. So those trades immediately look better. And then we went pitcher, and we got another A. We got another A sitting there in Edmund Acevedo. It didn't really matter. I went back and forth between Bauer and Acevedo. I thought Acevedo was a little bit better. We ended up getting both of them. So Acevedo is a 66-90 overall. I mean, these guys might be – I was going to start talking about free agency, where we need to go with pitching. We might not need as much as we think for this upcoming season. Edmund Acevedo, likely 2 years away from being in the starting rotation for certain. And then Bauer with a 62 overall. You never know. You never know what happens. And then we rounded it out with Luis Rivera. He's a little bit more sketchy. He's 21, only a 63, but still an 87 potential. I would say we did pretty good. I'm gonna find out right now if we did, because I do want to see where Lou Diggs is. Obviously, we couldn't help that draft. And then Sanchez. Right, the Sanchez I was high on from the get-go. Let's see, Lou Diggs was an Angel, so let's pop over the Angels. So let's hop over there and see real quick. And then Sanchez was an A, right? So let's see here. Oh, there's the A's. Ramsey Sanchez is a 9. Oh, my goodness. No way. I told you I was high on him. Unbelievable. I wish it showed our scouting. Oh, dang. So we miss out on the one on the one superstar. Usually there's one, right? There's one. Sometimes there's two, but Ramsey Sanchez, he moved to like 34 on our list. Fire one of the scouts. That position scout is on my radar. Dang it, dude. So we miss out. I trusted my scouts and they let me down. All right. Angels should be right around here next. And there's no way. This one we couldn't help, so this one doesn't hurt as bad, but Jeff Lopes looks even better than Ramsey's. Jeez. Two superstars in the draft. The Rockies don't get either. I can't be mad. Well, I can be mad about it because Sanchez was there for the picking, and we missed him. Still, we got an 88 overall, a guy that isn't too far behind Sanchez. Both are 18, but I mean, just like a full step down. Like a full step down in prospect, we got at the 4 slot. And I believe Sanchez went like 15 to the A's, something like that, 10 or 15. Shoot. So we did have a good draft, but the number 4 pick could have made a major splash, and we didn't. There's going to be more drafts to come. So that's just one of many. I like that we're all blue, even though it's not all A's like the previous games, but looking good so far. And let's take one final look. And then the rest of the season is kind of, we're going to sim all the way through. We have some contract extensions, things like that. But overall, we're pretty much done with the season until we get to the end here. So there's one final look. I just want to see Campanella. Yeah, I mean, I thought maybe he had some better hitting stats. He doesn't. Sanchez was the pick. At 4, and we go with Campanella. We'll see. It'll be interesting to compare those two for the next couple years here. But all right, we'll see you at the end of this season. All right, well, we're done with the season now, and a couple items to note. I did do the September call-ups. I didn't call up any of the young guys that were hoping to be on the team next year, and then I didn't do any contract extensions at all. So here are the loggers. Have finished the season at 60 and 102, so we do crack the 100 loss mark. Unfortunately, that wasn't good enough to make the postseason. So better luck next season. We knew this was going to be kind of a throwaway season. I'm actually kind of happy. That's probably one of the lower records in the league, which means we have a higher chance at a high draft pick next year. So that's good news there. Now we begin to play. Now we begin to make every game count, and things will be different for certain. Let's continue on here and see. The regular season has come to an end. I did want to check a couple things in the stats before we get to the offseason. Of course, I will tell you who won the World Series, everything like that. So if anything sparks any interest, I'll obviously stop and let you know what's going on. So here we go. All right, well, I just quickly sim to a random date where I thought the World Series was taking place. It indeed is. It's the Dodgers and Minnesota, man. I mean, they must have added some pieces, done some things, or maybe they just realized their potential because I think they were picked to win the Central at the beginning of this year. Obviously, they didn't. They had a total yard sale, but Dodgers make it. That's to be expected, I guess. They went 7 with Philadelphia. Quite the series. We're going to see who wins it in just 2 seconds. I'll let you know on the other side. There we go. Dodgers do it anyways. Dodgers, doesn't matter who they play. They win the World Series. Thankfully, they're in our division, right? They just spend billions and billions of dollars, and, we got to go up against them. But that's the challenge we have ahead of us, especially with the off season here. And now I hope it's a good free agent market. Going into the season, I thought maybe Schwarbaum or Alonso. We went with Torkelson. He's failed a little bit, but he's younger. We're going to have him for longer. Now let's see if we can round out the squad and maybe avoid the trade thing, because it's been tough to do the trades with the Rockies squad. We're going to probably have to find a lot in free agency, but the Rockies have the money. They just don't spend it right. Here we go. Now, when we got good news. We got good news because Bud Black decided to retire. That's good news. All right. Bud Black, the most losing manager in Rockies history, is now gone. We didn't have to fire him. So there we go. He walked away. All right, well, one other thing that we're going to have to do this year, we knew the Rockies franchise was absolutely terrible, who are now the Loggers for a reason, but their coaches are off. I mean, look at our hitting coach. -3 discipline, -2 clutch, but he's got contact +3. He's not even a hitting coach. You have negative attributes in 3 hitting categories. Whatever. All right. Well, I'm going to revamp these. I got in here to change our manager. I'll let you know who we find. But a C, 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 B. I want all A's. Give me all A's. So here now is the new coaching staff for the Loggers, and you can see we shelled lots of money. We shelled out the money to get what we wanted, but they are all A's. They are all positive. The only negative we have is actually counteracted because we have +2 in one area. So everybody's an A. Everybody's signed to 3-year deals. We'll just take a quick look here. I want to make sure I got clutch. We got that in our manager. Durability as well helps a lot. And then our hitting coach, the plate discipline there with the power, like that. Pitching coach, that one was a little bit trickier. I wanted velocity here. Instead, we go break with the +2. First base coach, mostly defensive there. You can see the arm strength. +1, plus our third base coach also has arm strength, +1, but he's got our speed and stealing, and then going to help out with the catchers, I guess. But I mentioned the arm strength because we have -1 in our farm director. The reason I like the farm director, the +2 in Ks and the +3 in pitching clutch, and then we have just a bonus clutch point that he's going to add to the mix. So we spent the money, and it's going to work out. It's going to work out. This is the crew that's going to take him to the promised land. Okay, we are now firmly into the offseason now. I've gone ahead and done all my arbitration stuff. We have a couple that are going to go to the hearings. I've re-signed or renewed all the contracts that I want to. But as before, the Rockies have left us with several problems. We knew a couple coming into the coaches didn't expect that. And now our budget is messed. The Loggers face an uphill battle here because our top contract is a 63 overall, which we knew Chris Bryant was not very good. He's sucking up $26 million a year, but we also got a declining Kyle Freeland getting paid 12.9. McMahon's okay. I'm okay with him there. We might try and move him this year later on, but Senzatella, another 63. We're giving him $10 million. And then Tovar, we talked about him a little bit. I'm a little bit on the fence with him now, especially when we look at him. He's declining. Okay, we're going to probably give him the benefit of the doubt, but that changes what we do in free agency now. I thought he was going to make the leap, maybe to get to an A. It looks like the game is deciding different. They're pushing him maybe down towards a C potential. It's not good. Not good for Ezekiel Tovar. Not the guy that we thought. He was the last guy I thought we were going to trade. It looks like he might be the first off the board. As far as these other guys, I don't know what to do, especially Chris Bryant. We might just have to cut him. We might just have to cut him, suck it up. I think we'll save when I looked at it, it'll be $7 million the first year. We'll still have to pay $19 million, and then it drops off per year. But it gives us a little bit more room. We're definitely going to try and find a home for Senzatella. Whether that happens this offseason or the beginning of next year, we shall see. But this is affecting the free agent process. I wanted to go out and make a big move with a pitcher. Looks like we might have to wait a year or two until we kind of clear up this. Maybe we'll find it in a different way. We're still going to make moves in free agency. I'm going to show you those now. It's a little bit different when I looked at it. So I don't know how it's going to work out. We're going to hop in there and see, but I'll give you my top 3 and then we'll just go from there, and I'll let you know what happens with these guys, because the top of our anybody that has a contract but McMahon needs to probably be off the team at this point. So here's kind of the new look free agency. It's my first time kind of experiencing it. You guys have already probably been in here. You've done your franchise. You've done all this. This is my first time. First time looking at it, but it appears that it's a lot like when we signed the draft picks. We got 3 guys. They gain interest, and then based on their interest, we could sign them a little bit easier. So that's what we're dealing with. As far as the money to spend, 52.84. I've got a couple ideas in here. I don't know how it's going to shake out. I thought it was going to be more. I thought it was going to be more for us to spend. Brian is absolutely killing us in the budget department, and it's a shame too, because if we take a look at the free agents, it's a who's who of, Kyle Tucker. We need a right fielder. We'd love to go out and get him for $34.1 million. Is it worth it? Probably not, because we also want Cease. He's $28.8 million now. even if we had $100 million to spend, I would doubt I would go and get both of these guys, but I might not get either of them, right? They both had qualifying offers made. That means we have to suck it up and give one of our draft picks away. So I'm not sure if it makes sense if we want a competitive team having, one or two guys at the top and then the rest of our team just kind of so. I don't know if that is a successful game plan for the Loggers this next year. Instead, we probably want to go volume. And if we take a look at the starters, we know we need a left-handed pitcher because Kyle Freeland, who we just talked about, likely on the outs. He's the only left-hander we have in the rotation. So if we go past all these guys with qualifying offers, these guys are all $25+ million a year that they're asking for, which means we'd probably have to offer them $30,000 to get them to come to Colorado. Our wheelhouse is probably in here, and we'll probably have to pick up two guys. Means it's the top left-hander outside of those top guys. I don't know if we go maybe even a little bit lower and get a lefty there, but if we can budget right, we can maybe get two more starters out of this deal and have a more well-rounded starting pitching core. Or what we could do is go and get 2 out of 3 of these top relievers and do kind of the Guardians thing and rely on our relievers for a long time until kind of our young guys get up to speed and are the guys that we need them to be. So that's a very realistic possibility, maybe like a Harvey and Leclerc to go along with Vesia that we got in the trade. As far as closers, our guy is a 72 right now. These guys are asking a lot of money. Like I said, our budget isn't quite where it should be. And then two, we need position players, right? We need some position players to round out that lineup, help out some of guys like Torkelson that gets maybe some more protection. With Tovar now kind of being a little sketchy, it's tough to say. Second base is a major problem for us. We don't really have a second baseman. Gleyber Torres is a very good possibility on the market at second base. He's a right-handed bat, though. We do need a left-handed bat in our lineup. We can go elsewhere for our left-handed bat. And then I did think about maybe going here. Maybe going Bo Bichette after seeing where Tovar is. I wish this was up to date, showing his secondary position. We know he could play second base. He played it in the playoffs. He played it in the minor leagues. They talked about it. But for the sake of this game, his second position is not second base, which means if we draft Bo Bichette, we're still taking a hit at shortstop, and then we'd have to trade Tovar away or move either Toglia or Torkelson to the outfield. Could happen until we find a home. I was more planning on putting Bichette at second and leaving Tovar until we find a home for him. So a couple options there. Again, we'll probably go top tier. Torres is only asking for $11.9 million a year, whereas Bichette is upwards of 15.9, which obviously is due to his age. And then when we go to the outfielders, we just got our left fielder of the future. We know we need a right fielder. We have Doyle in center field. Any of these guys can probably play anywhere in the outfield. The guy I like, though, I would say Schwarber, but we need a defensive outfielder. As much as I said, I'm going to stay away from defense. Schwarber is that bad in the field. So Michael Conforto, sticks out to me. $10 million a year for 2 years, 33 years. That would fit our team perfect. A left-handed bat. He's a stark difference from what we see in real life. He's actually increasing. So maybe we get him for one more peak year, 2 at the most, and then we can let Veen and Condon and Beck all kind of grow maybe into that right field role. So that's a very realistic possibility. Signing him as a left fielder, putting him in right, just because the rest of the outfield, center fielders asking a bit too much for us, and then right field, other than Tucker, really falls off. Laureano, don't really trust him. Steroid user, don't want him on my team. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. I'll probably decide in the next couple minutes is if we go after Bichette or Torres, and then we're definitely going after Conforto. So he's going to be our top target, followed by probably the other position player, and then we'll probably just go depth for our pitching right now. As much as I'd want to sign a Dylan Cease, a Ranger Suarez, who would be unbelievable, we need more. We need more than just one guy. We need more than just 2 guys. We need like 4 or 5 or 6 guys, so that way we can make a run at a wild card. Maybe even division's going to be tough with the Dodgers. So we're going to see how it shakes out, and I'll let you know what exactly happens, because this is the final straw before we hit opening day. All right, well, I think I worked my magic, and figured two trades out that look to be pretty good. It allows us to do what we want to do in free agency and maybe even a little more while unloading some of these salaries. This first one I'm excited about. It sends Ezequiel Tovar, who we just talked about, right? How quickly it can change with this new ownership group, right? You're declining, you're gone. You're out of here. No, I'm worried about him. And plus, Bichette is available in free agency. I think it makes more sense to do this with Ezequiel Tovar. We're unloading $9.1 million. And then we wanted to also address their team needs here. So we decided to unload some more. Let's go all the way down to Antonio Senzatella, $10.1 million. And then the last guy we had to include into this trade, puts us at a little bit of disadvantage in center field. And for some reason, he's a hot commodity. Benny Montgomery looks to be, I guess he's going to shoot through the roof. We're okay with that. With what we're going to get back in this trade. So Benny Montgomery adds to that. But the guy we're going after is the second baseman, and listed at second baseman. And thankfully, the Orioles did us a favor, and they went out and signed somebody. So he is sitting second on the depth chart, Jackson Holliday. Granted, it is a step back, right, as far as Ezequiel Tovar being in the 80s, the low 80s, but Holliday is younger. He's an A prospect, A potential. So we're going to go there, but that's not all. We added that third guy for a reason, Benny Montgomery. We wanted to maybe take out two birds with one stone. Granted, it's not probably the high profile left-hander that we wanted, but he's 25 years old, a B potential. Cade Povich is going to fit into our lineup. Maybe this allows us to go get a higher end starter. Granted, we're going to be really high end if we do that with a bunch of kind of lower 70s guys behind him. But Cade Povich, a left-hander with room to grow. Let's go ahead. Let's make that trade happen. There we go. That's number one. That's a big move. Tovar gone. I started this episode saying he's the face of our franchise. Not anymore. And then this next one, I did it out of pure necessity. We have three center fielders now, but a team that is willing to trade a young prospect is the Royals. They're willing to give up, if we go over here to the shortstops, Gavin Cross. Now, he's a little bit older than Benny Montgomery was, but he's a B potential. He's a little bit further along at a 67 overall. He's going to slide in nicely into AAA. And two, it helps us out because the guys that we had to get rid of here, or decided to get rid of. One of them, they were all over. And Kyle Freeland, that's another $12.9 million. So $30 million freed with this. We did have to include one other of our prospects. And he's a young one too. He's just caught in a weird situation. We talk about this three-headed monster we have in right field. We're going to hopefully sign Conforto and allow these guys to grow and then kind of battle it out for the future. But Robert Kalaz, being that he's 20 years old, would be that next wave, maybe like 5 years. I mean, I don't know. If one of these guys pan out, he may never see the field. So we're going to include Robert Kalaz in this to get this done. Basically a 1-for-1. I think we took probably more of a hit in these trades, but being that free agency is upon us, we can now address the needs that we need to address. We're going to get this one done as well. And we just saved a lot of money doing that. So now just look at that change in our available to spend $83 million. I say let's do it. Let's go after Dylan Cease. Let's make him the number one. I now want a power pitcher instead of a left-handed pitcher. Cease fits that mold. I would say, we were looking at Eflin, but an 86 as your ace. Why do that when you can have an A? Hopefully he wants to sign with us. We'll add him as the number one priority here. Priority two, we know what it's going to be. We're going to go over to our shortstops, and we want Bo Bichette, another A potential guy. He's asking 15.9, so that's already like $45 million. This is okay. So that's just saying it's the motivation boost is going to be down. I don't know. Well, this might be a little sketchy this first year. We know we need Bo Bichette now, and then the third one here, we'll go after our right fielder, soon to be right fielder, another left-handed bat. That's a good thing about Jackson Holiday. He's also a left-handed bat, so we had another left-handed bat, a left-handed pitcher. Now hopefully we get our shortstop, our additional left-handed bat to round out our outfield, and then our true ace at the top of the heap. That's the main goal, and then we'll fill in the rest with relievers. I'll let you know as it gets done who we get, how this works out. I don't know what to expect. We'll see. I think we're hitting some of these here. You get a 2% boost there. We get a full 5% boost there, and a full 6% boost there. So, let's see how it shakes out. Obviously, we might want to put Bo Bichette first. That might be beneficial because we have other options other than Dylan Cease at the top of that board for starters. So I'll probably switch that up. We'll just do that there. And doesn't really change that much. So we'll see. But like I said, we'll just give you the end result here. I'm going to mess with it and get it done. We are spending a lot of time revamping the loggers. So I'm trying to make it as quick as possible, get through this episode, and get into next season where we can actually see the product on the field. Okay. Oh, boy. This interrupts me. Contract decision. Bichette, what's he going to do? My guess is he made it. We got a pen. We got a pen. He's signing the deal. He's signing the deal. Yes, sir. 5 years, $17.97 million. We were a little desperate for a shortstop. We paid. I don't know if we overpaid. We went above his asking price. We'll say that. But now we have our shortstop for the next 5 years, presumably, unless something better comes along. Tovar saw that happen to him. Bichette, though, I think paired with Holiday is going to be a dynamic duo up the middle. All right, here, moment of truth. He doesn't get the cool thing. Welcome to the team, Michael Conforto. We added a year, added $1 million just to be certain. We snatch up Michael Conforto, gives us another left-handed bat, a power bat. He's a little bit older, right? We might not keep him for the full 3 years, but that's a big sign. He's going to play right field for us. We're going to put our 18-year-old in left field and just let him go. Let him go. We have the same plan for the catchers. I don't know if maybe late I go after a catcher just in case. I don't know, because we're pretty low. They're like 68s, but I digress. We got Conforto. We've got our outfield shored up now. Now we move on. Okay, here we go. Another stoppage here. We got the draft lottery. We're going to see where we stand in this whole mess. Let's see here. All right, so we have the third best chances, but they're all the same. 16.5. We ended up tying the Nationals for the second worst record in the majors, just behind the White Sox. So we stand a good shot at the number 1 overall pick. Let's see if it happens. Come on, give us a break here. Give us the number 1 overall pick. That way we don't have to worry about people like Lopes, being stolen from us, snatched from us. Here we go. Come on, what's it gonna be? Okay, we get 2. We get the 2 spot. I'm not, we could have dropped. Okay, we could have dropped to 5. That would have been not good. But instead, we get the 2. The Brewers move up 13 slots to get the 4. Angels move up and get the 1. Everyone pretty much moved up. Loggers and the Angels both move up 1 slot. Or I guess the Angels moved up 2 slots. Anyways, whatever. We have the 2. We only have to worry about the Angels now, who ended up taking Lopes anyways. I don't know. We'll see if they steal somebody from us again. No way they do it twice, right? Right? Okay, well, we got something else. I thought we were well on our way to signing Framber Valdez, but it says now or never. 5% motivation decrease. Another organization made the first competitive offer at this top 25. Oh, okay. So it looks like the Orioles are trying to bolster their pitching squad. Same with the Rangers. We've seen some guys go to the Rangers. We're going to offer him a contract, 2 years, $27.6 million. What is going to be the deciding factor for if I could say his name, Framber, to come to the Loggers? Offer the contract here. We'll add a year, and let's go to 31. I mean, we got to get him over 50 at least. Yikes, dude. This is rough. Yeah, I guess we'll go there. 32, I mean, not what we were expecting. I mean, this is a full $5 million, just about $5 million over his asking. I can't. We'll go right at 50. I mean, still, Still 4.5. Is that going to make any difference? Contract decision incoming. Did we snake him away? Did we just snake him away? Come on, give me that, whatever it was before. I want it again. No, cell phone. Oh, that can't be good news. Got it. Good luck. Oh, it was the Cubs. The Cubs, 3 years, 32. Okay. Well, we were under them. So, not really what we were willing to spend, but now we know, in case we have to sign Cease, that's kind of the going rate. Granted, he is a couple years older than Cease, so man, Cease might be expensive. Maybe we go elsewhere. We saw King get taken, Eflin get taken. Boy, oh boy, it appears that nobody wants to pitch in Colorado. Go figure. Okay, here we go again. I did offer an extra year. I did offer a little bit more cash. This one's going to be tough, I think. Come on. Yes, we get the pen. That means he's signed. We still, didn't get the guy that we wanted. Cease obviously didn't want to sign. I mean, maybe we could have stuck with him, but then we could have maybe missed out on Cease. And Suarez, not the power pitcher we were looking for, but another left-hander for the next 4 years. I guess we didn't do a fifth year. We just went 4 years, 26 million. Or we did do the 5 year. 5 year, 28.97. I'm sorry. We did get him, but we get Ranger Suarez. We get our top of the rotation type guy. Granted, it's not Framber Valdez. It's not Dylan Cease. But still, we get much better in the starting pitching department. Okay, we got another opportunity from Steph. Now this guy, Gregory Soto, 80% willing to sign, 73B overall. I mean, yeah, we'll add some depth, $4 million. Okay, not bad. I would say this is a no-brainer. We weren't really looking at him, right? We had the first guys we wanted to look at, but we're gonna offer him a contract. We're gonna offer him a contract. We'll do 2 years, and we'll give you something like that, 4.64. Might be a little bit too much, but right now, with where our pitching is at, anybody that wants to pitch for the Loggers, come on aboard. Let's go. All right, so we're gonna sign him. Hopefully, okay. Here we go, Hunter Harvey. Come on, man. I thought about going after Leclerc. Harvey is just the same guy, maybe a year behind him. So, yes, we get another one. I think so. Maybe people are starting to realize that this new ownership with the Loggers means business. We did go 2 years, kept it at 2, upped him a little bit, $6.76 million. If he doesn't work out, it's only for 2 years, and we can kick him to the curb. But there we go. And now we got another contract decision in Gregory Soto. Yeah, we pretty much knew he was going to do that. So that's going to round out our relievers just like that. We got Vesia, we got Harvey, we've got now Gregory Soto. Need a closer, and then maybe if we can find somebody cheap in the free agency that maybe we pick a flyer on. I don't know. I want maybe one more guy that is legitimate enough for me to say I could put him in the game. I don't want to be putting in 65s and hoping that they're good in high leverage situations. So I'm glad Soto wants to pitch for us. That's good news. He will be probably our 6th or 7th inning guy. There we go. Okay, now we got another one. I mean, it's like we signed one and they're all like, yeah, let's go pitch for that team. This one, I mean, not bad. Scott Barlow. 81% B potential, 73 overall. How much do you want? 3.1 million. I mean, is it B potential? I mean, falling into our lap at this point. Let's maybe do him for 1 year. Granted that he is 33 years old, declining in some areas, but shoot, if guys are coming to us, why not? Looks like, hey, the narrative is changing in Colorado. I'm telling you that right now. We're going to offer him a contract, adding depth to our relievers, and we'll just bump him just a little bit here. Sure. 1 year, 3.22. What do you say to that? Granted, we're spending a little bit more than we anticipated, but overall, I mean, yes, sir. We were not planning on diving that deep into the relievers, but now we don't have to find one. We probably still need the closer. Let's take a look now at what there is. Jordan Romano, okay, he's a B. Alex Lange, he looks like the same player. What's wrong with him? Why is he a 78B and he's a 76B? Did he have a bad year? No, he didn't pitch last year. What's going on? What's going on with this guy? Didn't pitch last year. Had a pretty rough year. I mean, do we take a shot on Lange? I don't. What's the story with him? 800. I mean, that is a steal for that guy. Well, there's the guy that we're going to take a risk on. Yeah, I'm not reading this correctly, but he only wants eight. I mean, it's right there in front of me. 800,000 a year for 1 year. Yeah, turtleneck and all. Let's go, bro. Come on. All right, here comes Scott Barlow, already at the 81%. Welcome to the team. We knew it. I mean, he contacted us. Okay, we have a previous relationship with Stephanie Dilboot, and Dilboot's just feeding Stephanie. Hey, tell him to talk to the lockers. I know the guy there, right? That's what's going on. But 1 year, 3.1. We're putting together, a pretty. I would say it's a pretty decent, relieving core. It's not stellar, but it's definitely probably, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5 times better than the guys we had in there last year. So looking pretty good so far. And we got one other piece to kind of anchor it down here. All right, we're going to see if we got Lange. My guess is we did. I did kind of go a little bit overboard with him. There we go. Welcome to the team. But being that he's a 78B potential, I mean, why not $1 million for 2 years? That was no brainer. No brainer. $1 million is nothing compared to what we were spending on people like Chris Bryant. So there we go. Welcome to the team. We did find one other guy. I kind of got piqued my interest when we found Lange here. Who else is out there that we might be missing? We found one other guy. Hopefully we can snatch him away. He might be beneficial down the road. But here's our guy, Gabriel Arias. He's 26 years old, plays a ton of positions. He's still increasing. I don't know why he didn't re-sign with the Guardians, but we're going to try and snatch him away from him. We're going to try and steal him. We can offer him a contract now. He's not asking much. We'll probably do something similar to what we did with Lange. My guess is a position player. He might be asking for a little bit more. We shall see. So let's make our offer, and let's see if he takes it. All right, here's the decision on Arias. Welcome to the team, Gabriel Arias. I don't know how much of an impact he's going to make, but he's a B potential and he's still increasing. I mean, even if he gets up to like a 72, 73, he could be a very good utility player for us. Why not? He might start the year in AAA, but who cares? 2 years, $976,000. Welcome to the team, Gabriel. All right, so here it is. This is the end of our free agent signing period. We still do need, I think, an additional reliever, maybe another catcher, and a closing pitcher. We'll sign some minor league guys to those contracts, but we made a lot of moves, more than I thought I was going to make. Granted, we had Soto and Barlow, come knocking on our door, so it might look a little bit more normal if that wouldn't have happened. But still, we address what we needed: shortstop, an outfielder, and then a starting pitcher. That kind of brings the whole team together, and then we got depth for relievers, really bolstering that relieving core to much better than it was before. And then because we lost Tyler Kinley, hopefully we got to steal Lange, and then Arias is just more depth. I don't even know if he's going to make the starting roster, but we got him for less than $1 million a year. Not bad. Now let's continue on, see if there's anything else in this offseason. It's finally coming to a close. We're finally getting to the very end. I did not expect it to take this long, but, the Rockies didn't leave the loggers with much. I'll just say that. All right, we have finally made it. Finally made it to the new season. It has taken a long time. Right, longer than I expected this first year. Usually we can fly through it, no problem. We knew that the Colorado Rockies organization was in trouble when we took the job and we rebranded them to the Colorado Loggers. What we didn't know is just how much trouble they were in, from their budget to their coaches to their player personnel. All over the place. We had to put our hands on the organization and mold it just to have a competitive team this year. Now, I don't know what the final product is gonna look like, right? We haven't really sorted anything out. I still need to make some adjustments as far as who's in the majors, AAA, AA. We might still be lower half type team. We're hoping that the moves that we made aren't just moves that impact the team right now, but impact the team for the next several years. We had to make 5 trades to do that. You saw the amount of free agency signings that we had to do. All of that just to get the Rockies, who are now the Colorado Loggers, a competitive team to, even have a chance against the world champion Dodgers. So we're going to put it to the test. Right now, we're going to advance to the spring training. And like I said, we've got just some small adjustments to make. We're going to take a look at the team as a whole next episode. I do apologize. I did want to play opening day, but like I said, just the absolute crapshoot that the Rockies were in. Thankfully, they are no more. The Colorado Rockies are gone. The Colorado Loggers are here, and they are ready to win. We're going to see if the team that we just spent all that time putting together is legitimate enough to contend. Quite possibly, there's going to have to be more moves made down the road in this first full season of gameplay that we're going to have coming up next. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for all the different players that we get to see in uniform and see if they can all gel together under a new team in the Colorado Loggers. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching this episode. As always, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Otherwise, guys, we'll see you next time on The Franchise with the Colorado Loggers. Thanks.